Hello everyone, this is Meg at Chasing Retro, and this is part 2 of 2 of the flip through of the Heidi themed junk journals that I have just completed today. If you'll flip back to the other one, you can see the first 3 that I did, as well as an explanation of the ephemera packs that I will be putting in my shop tonight when I list these. But let's just jump right in. I have one more 2 signature to show you that's made out of a book. And then I have a VHS cover 2 signature and a single signature to show. This one is going to be called Green Heidi. Turns out the person who requested this book, I later found out that this person's favorite color is green, therefore her choice in the cover. So I decided if I had anything overly green in my Heidi stash, I would put it in her journal to make that much more themed for her favorite color. So here is the tassel. There's a lot of fun little textured yarns and trims in there, and some lace ribbons to match the cover. I have this really cool, it looks like wallpaper fabric that has little tiny hearts, and then the back is a cute little illustration of Peter, Heidi, and grandfather with Edelweiss. This one was by far the book that had the most damage, especially to the corners. So I decided to put book corners on these in the antique gold. It has a tie with eyelets of like a sage green grosgrain. And here are the beads. This one measures 7 3/4 by 5 1/2, and it has a 1 1/2 inch spine. And just like the others, this one has 16 folded pages in each signature. Okay, in the front we have a little circular pocket with some floral trim, and then we have a fabric tag. This was sent to me in Happy Mail a while back. It's just a really cool vellum, sort of specimen card, if you will, and it matched perfectly with these, so I decided to use that in these journals. Here's a 3D element on the first pocket, just like I did in the others. A little layered Heidi with some fabric on a pocket made out of Franken paper. A fabric tag. Recipe for cheese bread, handwritten. I love this. May 1979. And a picture of Clara feeding the goats. Side pocket with some rickrack. This is a piece of cast off embroidery that I found at my craft reuse store that I appliqued, and a little circular journaling card. This is one of the illustrations from the Heidi books. I had about 8 books that I pulled from for these. Some fabric ribbon that I made into a ruffle. Here's a quote from one of the books down here. Fussy cut flower, some really beautiful stationery that I received in Happy Mail a while back. This is from a nursery rhyme book, and it was a Swiss nursery rhyme, so I put that in here. Each journal has a couple of paper clips with some jacquard ribbon, a shaped journaling card, and a handkerchief that's been turned into a journaling card, and some red fringe trim. This is one of the addresses from my personal stash of paper dolls from my childhood. This is one of the books, the Heidi books, chapter books. And then this is a digital from Tailor Made Journals of vintage wallpaper. I made these little Tyrolean hearts. I punched them and then I used a paint pen to make the little dots. And here's a playing card and decoupage napkin tag. I used some watercolor stamps to make this flower. And my daughter illustrated the little goats in these. German sheet music page. A little fussy cut from the book. She's got that kitten pinned down. That just made me laugh. You know how kids handle kittens. A little fabric cluster, a German stamp. This is a, I said this in the first video, but I just recently bought my first set of layered stamps and I am hooked. And this is one of the little forget-me-not stamps. And then a little cover page that I embellished and put on cardstock. This is a pattern book of woodcut patterns and some paper made into a cluster and some ribbon flowers. Each book has a handkerchief and this one has a green one. These were sent to me by Claire. And then some die cuts made into a little tag. This was a die cut set that I found at my craft reuse store. And I don't think I can use it to the fullest potential because it also comes with a separately purchased layered stencil set, which I could not find at the reuse store, but I did the best I could. I just stacked the little colored punches on top and made little layers. It was fun anyway. A postcard from Switzerland and a little image of Heidi. Decoupaged napkin tag. This is from a pillowcase and I appliqued onto this tag. And then an image of Peter with the goats from a children's book, Heidi children's book. Another illustration made into a tag and some reproduction feed sack on this coffee dye paper. Paper flower up here. Grandfather and Heidi going to church. Woodcut again, and then this beautiful jacquard with some sequins. Stapled butterfly here, and some jacquard and this beautiful daisy print. Stamped butterflies. A fabric pocket with a fabric tag. This is a vintage photograph. This is actually a hotel in Germany, but it has that Tudor style, I guess you would call it. No, not Tudor, that would be English. The Alpine, you know, the architecture that you would see near the Alps. So I decided, I've been holding on to that picture forever, and I was like, this is the time to use it. A green dangle on this little paper tab. I thought these looked like 8 of Ice. I just put those on this belly band. And here's an image with, this one is a tight fit. A little quote from Heidi when she meets the grandfather. So cute. These images are just so heartwarming. I cannot even, I may have teared up numerous times while making these journals. Oh my goodness. Such a sweet story. This is actually not German or Swiss. It's actually French, but it's a really cool old piece of ephemera. I believe it came in a box of cookies, a tin of cookies maybe, and I guess you would collect them. They're shiny. It's really cool. If you know what this is, let me know. A fabric tag on some indigo dyed paper. Fussy cut of grandfather. A silk flower. This folds out. Another quote down here, and then this is very old blanket binding. It's got some aging discoloration, but I love that. And it's a beautiful hunter green. A handkerchief made to a pocket. I put it on top of sheet music. Another die cut tag. A quote from the book with Clara, and then some wallpaper. Here we have the little dried flower packet, and then recipe card and a decoupage tag. These were really fun to make. I went ahead and made a bunch of these little pouches, and I'm going to use them in other journals as well. You could put glitter in them or little clay polymer shapes. Oh, here's grandfather praying. How sweet. And then the flannel with the goats. And this tuck spot is from an illustration in the book, but I got a little excited because I'm getting in the Christmas spirit, and I pulled out my stickles and I put some stickles on the snow. Here's the village right here in this torn paper pocket, and then going to church with grandfather. And this is some embossed cardstock that looks like a sweater. Oh, and this tag is a little piece of a vintage tablecloth. This flips out. Wallpaper reproduction. It's dual-sided. A little pie. I just figured that might be something she would have eaten when she got to the Clara's house. A dictionary page. A stamp of the tree, of the fir tree. A fabric cluster. A paper ruffle. This is some more German sheet music. Rectangle doily. Vintage wallpaper. I found this at an estate sale. Playing card. Embossed stationery and a fabric tag. A sewing book page. Bird fussy cut. Look at this center image, y'all. This is from Ideals. Of course, I probably didn't have to tell you. So pretty. I keep thinking my camera's out of focus, but it's the reflection making the image look like that. This is a belly band made from Franken paper. And then we have an image of a Swiss village and a book image. Some stationery. Fussy cut image. A playing card with a little flip pad. Some eyelet. Another one of those beautiful heart dangles. Very heavy. I debated whether or not to put those on here, but they went with the journals that were the vibrant red and green so well. Envelope with a little card inside. One of those embellished book illustration pockets. And then another image with some eyelash trim and a flip tag. Paper and fabric cluster there. This is from the National Geographic or something like that. Some more trim, lots of trims. I tried to put trim on everything. This is one of the little bowls that I made with the die cut machine. Here's the fabric flip, and I had this very beautiful Battenberg style lace doily, or I guess maybe a coaster. So put that there. Okay. This was Green Heidi. I don't know if I said this at the beginning of this video, but all of these Heidi journals have been reserved. Okay, this one is the request of the reserver when I allowed them to choose a cover, was to use the Shirley Temple VHS cover. And I like making VHS cover journals because they challenge me a little bit. And that's always a good thing. The shape of them and just the way you have to sort of maneuver the paper, especially to line the inside and it line up right with the fold lines. But this one I honestly didn't have a bit of trouble with. It was a breeze. So maybe I'm getting a little more confident in these. This was one of my favorite versions to watch growing up, even though it is a little more dramatic than the book, as Hollywood tends to do. But it is, how can you not love Shirley Temple, right? And then here's the little tassel and the colors that match the cover. And I left everything as it is on here. Even has the little seal when you buy it, and they leave the seal on there. Okay, let me focus again. This one is tied with a double Grosgrain ribbon in red. Oh, here are the beads. Oh goodness. I don't know why it's focusing when I'm at my desk, but when I'm out here in my husband's office, it's not focusing. Okay, so I lined the inside of this with this beautiful blue and red floral print paper, and then we have this green and some heart, it looks like tatted trim. I'm not sure that it is tatted, but a greeting card. No, this is not a greeting card, and I thought it was a plain card, but I think it's just a card, like a gift card, because there's nothing on the back. And then Heidi, and then this was a tag that I received in Happy Mail a while back. The 3D element for this one is a little feather on Heidi's little alpine hat. And then we have a fabric tag and a little hanky on a sheet music page. This belly band is embellished with a vintage seal and some eyelet lace. And then we have a decoupage tag and an old recipe card. This one also has 16 pages. I did not measure this one, but it's roughly 3 3/4 wide, 7 1/4 tall. This is a very intricate doily, and I don't get to use them much because they're square, but it fits perfectly in this journal. So this is one of the beads that Claire sent me. It's a little wooden, just a little wooden guy. He looks very alpine. I just put him on a ball pin. We have a side pocket with a little laser cut die cut. Some gift wrap, a little fussy cut dress, and then some rickrack. This is from a children's songbook, but she looked like Heidi to me. Some strawberry deli paper, fabric tab. This flips up, I believe, yes. And then this is an image of some sort of fair, and it's in Europe. I think 1930s, based on the other photographs that I found in the same pack where I bought this. And then some die cuts made into a tag and a book image. Some stationery with flowers. We have some embroidered flower trim here, and then here we have, I stamped this little house. And then we have a hanky sheet music card with a yo-yo, and then another image from the book, from a book. This was one of the book illustration pockets, and it was very narrow, of course, because of the book. So I just tucked this little, in the movie, Heidi does this little song and dance number of a little Dutch girl, and so that's why I put that in here, because she's wearing the little wooden shoes. Center is a little spread of birds. Tuck spot with a book image, some vintage gift wrap, some decoupage tag, and recipe card. This is just a laser cut that I folded around the edge of the page. Stamp and a fussy cut from the book. Silk flower. Did I clip this to more than one page? No. Yes. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. No, I didn't. It's a notepad. One of the little notepads, and then woodcut illustration. Some red trim. This is just a decoupage image from a Victorian book that I have, so it was the right era. Paper flower. A little bead dangle with yellow. This actually flips up like this. This is from National Geographic. There's a fabric flip. This is some cross stitch trim right here, but it's not cross stitched on. A little tag, a felt goat tag, and another book image of Heidi coming home. No, actually that's Clara running to her father. That's right. I always see the little girl and don't really pay attention to the gentleman every time I look at that image. Here's a little digital of kittens, and then some dried flowers. And then here we have the stamped ticket, another little digital, and a circular journaling card. This is a napkin that I turned into a pocket. Paper doll hat. A German flashcard. This is the woodcut pattern book page. Some vellum. Fabric cluster with a little heart. German music. Watercolor stamp. Little tiny image there, and then a torn pocket with a fabric tag. An ideals page with kittens as the center. A lace belly band, but it's paper, and a Swiss postcard, and an image of the village. Heidi. I tucked the handkerchief into this little belly band. This one is beautiful, I guess tatted, sort of flower basket base. Is that not so pretty? It's actually very loose on the handkerchief. Just a coin envelope that I put this tag in, but you could also seal it closed behind this little number. Wallpaper snippet and a little book image. Fabric cluster, paper cluster. And then this is Heidi was delighted. This is actually from the 80s. It's just a little heart-shaped gift tag, playing card, and some embossed cardstock. I put embossed cardstock in each one just in case someone wanted to collage with it or something. All right. This was VHS Heidi. And the last one, but not the least, is, we're going to call this one Fabric Heidi because this is a fabric covered journal. This is a single signature. I found this at an estate sale, and it was new. It was new old stock. It was still in the package, but it was so old that it had discolored even in the plastic wrap. So that's why it's this beautiful you know, patina beige instead of white. And I just wrapped it around this journal after the signature was sewn in, and it looks like Heidi and Peter. And then I like how this is the spine. I did a dangle on here, but I did not punch an eyelet. I just didn't want to mar the surface of this. So the pen is put directly through the fabric, and then I did a little ribbon dangle or tassel. This one is tied with some white velvet, vintage velvet ribbon that I had. The base of this is an Amazon bubble mailer, the recycled brown ones. And this is 9.5 by 6. And there are 17 pages, and it's one signature. So that's 34 leaflets. I sewed in some lace as the pocket in the front and the back. Here's one of the cover pages. And sheet music made into a tag with a hanky on top. The 3D element for this one is little bows in Heidi's pigtails. A fabric tag and a woodcut illustration. This is from a children's poetry book. It was Jack and Jill. So they're tumbling down the hill, but I cut them off and I just saved the little goat, and I thought he was perfect for this, for a side pocket. Embossed cardstock. A postcard. This one's written on, and Luzerne. That's where this is. And then one of those little heart tags. Clipped here, we have the dried flower packet, image from the book, and some embossed vellum with butterflies. This is dyed paper, by the way. It's this beautiful rich blue. And then some red fringe trim. Here's Heidi and grandfather. This is from Ideals, Take Me Out to the Hills, with some beautiful roses. A silk flower, a book page. Clipped here we have a little journaling card and a fabric tag. A paper tab with a little glass tulip. Fussy cut flowers and a doily. Punched cardstock. Little tiny pocket down here with that layered stamp on the ticket. Another die cut made tag, just a little card to write on, and a plain card. I found this die at the Dollar Tree, guys. I don't know if y'all have seen that one. It sort of makes a border, like a lower border. Song of the Steeple Bells, and it looks like the Alps, so I use this. Here's Heidi with her little knapsack. Oh, that's right. I wrapped this image. This is when she first arrives, so I folded the image. And here's grandfather on the other side. Vintage stationery and a little cluster. Here is some more of that napkin that I cut apart and then appliqued, and then a book image. This is from the Golden Encyclopedia. Fussy cut image of a bird, and yes, he is supposed to be like this. He was on the side of a tree in the book, so he was looking down. And some lace with fabric in the middle. Playing card and index card. A little quote on this handwriting paper with a little bluebell. We have a recipe card, some more of that beautiful embroidery. And this is a sad image, but it's part of her story. This is when Heidi is homesick, and the embossed stationery. And here is the hanky for this one. It's a beautiful crocheted trim and a little goat. And here is another one of those diary pages from the traveling couple from the estate sale. Those are so fun to read through. I didn't show the beads on this one. Blue and red glass mainly. A little blueberry pie this time, and then a cluster of lace and paper and fabric. I guess that'd be more of a snippet strip. This is an image that's been colorized and I turned it into a flip out. Belly band. Oh yeah, this will get caught if you don't lift this up. Here's a die cut tag. This is from one of the fly leaves and a little quote. These were the first cards that I made for these journals and I had so much fun with these. This is a decoupage napkin, but I made a card instead of an envelope this time, and I captured the name of the lark from the song. The song is about a lark, so I thought that was pretty neat. We have some lace there. Oh, a dangle here. What is this? Oh, it's a little rhinestone with some gold. These little things fold over. It's so cool. I've never seen one like that before. A handkerchief made into a pocket. Here's a flip pad and another image from National Geographic. This is when they first arrive at Clara's house. A doily. This is actually an Anna Griffin flower. It's 3D. Ooh, look at that pretty design the doily is making. Unexpected beauty is the best kind. Here is decoupage tag. Recipe for Bavarian mold. It has pineapple in it and celery. You know, it had me until you got to celery, but you know what? It was the 50s, so. And then wallpaper. Isn't that so pretty? Book page pocket with a flip tag. And then this one has the back cover pockets. So we have a felt or flannel goat tag. Beautiful. I love it. Like the sunset colors when artists are able to capture that beautiful sort of sherbet peach that you see on snow or on things that are white like clouds. And then going to church with grandfather. So this one is fabric, Heidi. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me throughout all of these. I really had fun making them. I hope the recipients enjoy them and they bring so much joy to them over the next few years. Thanks for watching as always. I appreciate y'all. See you soon.